So anyways, I decided to make a game in 1 week, despite taking 7 months to make my previous game. So the first thing I need to do is make a game idea. Now immediately I decided that the game will be in space and you will be riding a rocket. After creating the game idea, I needed a spaceship, so I immediately made one. Of course it looks like a PP, but we don't talk about that. After making the PP rocket, I made the meteors, which was just a giant cube with a tiny hole in it. But then I remembered, we're in space, therefore we need space to be around us. So I just googled space and picked the first thing I found. Also, please consider liking and subscribing, that would help me out by a lot, especially since the few short videos that I uploaded are injuring my channel because they're short and YouTube doesn't like that. Also, consider joining our Discord if you want more frequent updates and also a list of games that I'm planning on making, including Minecraft VR, definitely coming out very soon. Probably in 10 years. Now onto the actual game. So the first thing I needed to do was make the rocket movement, and I decided to make it like only a 2-dimensional movement to make it more simpler and to preserve time. So after a bit of coding, boom, it started to move. I also added a bit of particles on the engines to make it look nicer and a bit of lighting on a few sides. Now the actual meteors were a lot more simpler to code because all they had to do is just move in one direction for their entire existence, which is a lot more simpler to code. I also added a bit of fire particles to make them look nicer. Currently, the meteors wouldn't do anything when they hit you, so I made it that they injure you, and once they hit you like 10 times, boom, you explode. Game over. Now the first problem I came across while developing the game was that the meteors would lag the game because there were so many of them and they don't get deleted, so they just keep on flying for eternity. The one way I fixed this was just adding a box behind the camera and behind the map itself, which just made meteors explode on collision. Problem number 2 was the fact that the game was starting to get boring after a while. The way I fixed that was that I added a wave system. Now the way the wave system would work is that after a certain amount of time, the wave would get a +1. So now when you reach wave 100, the game ends and you win. Of course, I'm not gonna spoil the ending because now you have a reason to actually play my game. Now, how do the waves affect my game? Well, the way they do affect it is whenever the waves increase, it gets multiplied by 5 and the outcome would equal the meteor speed. I also made it that after wave 10, the spawn rate the meteors spawn in would double, and after wave 50, it would also double. So meteors eventually just start flying like bullets everywhere, and if you actually get past wave like 60, well, congrats, you probably own the world record. Now, the main game was complete, but I still needed a starter menu. Now, how do you make a starter menu about a space game? You add space in the background. I know, I'm a genius. Then I needed to add the UI, which I dislike because I don't like UIs, but I had to add them. Now there were 2 buttons, technically 3, but I'll talk about the third one later. The first button was quit, the second button was play, and the third button was reset score because, well, I'll explain the scores a little bit later, but basically it resets all your stats so I can export the project. Drinking game, drink a shot every single time I say game. Now on the actual score system. The way the score system would work is that basically I added a float saying score, and score equals wave. Then I set up a player preference that would equal the score, and then I set a second player preference that would be best score, and it would check if the current score is better than best score, and if the current score is better than the best score, it would change best score to current score. So then I had to upload it to the itch.io, which was very simple because I already have an account there. Keep in mind, don't download the other games or else you're gonna get brain cancer. So yeah, I uploaded the game to itch.io and I had to set up the page. Now setting up the customization for my page was even more simpler because all I had to do was just upload a space material, change everything to black except the text, which was white. Also adding a tiny description, which was very, very descriptive. Don't need to check it. And with all of that done, the game was published, and this devlog is finished. Thanks for watching, see you next month.